Hey there, Pacific Rim fans. This is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at NECA's Coyote Tango figure. This is from the newest series of Pacific Rim figures, and I believe that's Series 3. And these were about $17, $18 a piece. I haven't seen them in stores just yet. I've only seen the large monsters at FYEs, but nothing at Toys R Us yet. But hopefully they will be showing up soon. But the big kind of call to arms on this wave has been, let's improve everything, and especially let's improve articulation. And this guy is definitely no slouch in that department. Very excited to have this guy. He didn't have a whole lot of screen time. This was the Marshall's mech, if you remember, when he had... when there was the flashback with Mako and everything. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this is the guy who took down that big old beast. But very, very, very cool figure. Very excited to have this one. Go ahead and put his cannons down here. You can see his cannons are on their own rotating piece. And what's neat about that is that it actually rotates this entire, there's like one large piece in here that's on a giant hinge, so you actually get to see parts rotate inside with it. It's not just sliding on the outside, which is very cool. So both of those fit back very nicely on his back. So we've got a ball jointed head, which has got limited up and down, not a ton of down, just because of the design. You know, he's got a very large chin, but he does have some nice tilt in there, and of course can rotate left and right. Very cool. We've got double ball joints in the shoulder, one here and one here, so he's kind of limited still because of the design, but they did some good things with it so to kind of increase that movement in there, because we also have a ball joint instead of a swivel here in the biceps. But you can see you can kind of do like the chicken head type of thing. So you can kind of pivot up and down, so it gives you a little bit of better range of motion than just a swivel, but it is still a little limited. But we do have ball joints in the shoulder, or in the biceps, as I said, so it kind of adds an extra little bit of outward mobility there without compromising the sculpt or anything, which is very cool. And of course, because of that, you also have rotation at the biceps. You have a hinge at the elbow, which goes back about that far, but why would you need to do that? But only goes forward about that far, maybe 45 degrees as opposed to 90. So not awful, but it could be better. Again, we've got the issue with this huge, huge armor right here. You can see how that sticks up. It just kind of blocks the sculpt. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do about that. We got double ball joints in the wrist, so there's a ball joint up in here and a ball joint in the hand. So again, you've got really great rotation on that. If I can hold them still, there we go. Really, really nice movement, and also has the chicken head type thing going on there if you need it for some reason. We've got a nice big ball joint in the waist, so you get rotation, you get movement all the way around. You can get a lot of great posing out of that. You know, it's really easy to tilt him over to look like he's throwing a punch if you wanted to. Very, very cool stuff. In the hips, we also have ball joints, but this is another one of those designs, kind of like Gypsy Danger, where the designers of the film actually created it so that it wouldn't really move very well unless all of these parts were like hinged and stuff. You know, it would have to be something like an SH Monster Arts or something like that to try and get this to move the way it would in the film. But as you can see, it kind of blocks going forward. But if you turn the leg a little bit, because it does have an upper thigh swivel, if you turn it a little bit, you can get more range out of it. If you turn it, you can get actually quite a bit of range. Look at that, it's pretty good. And then going back, there's nothing to block it or anything. It's mostly going forward. The problem is because of this armor here. But also because of these huge, huge cylinders here, which kind of look like beat up old truck wheel wells. They only go out about that far in terms of outward splits. So not a whole lot of range there. If you wanted to, you could probably notch that out to give yourself a little more range of motion. But yeah, there wasn't much that NECA could do without compromising the sculpt as far as that goes. Again, that's more with the designers than it is with NECA. But as I said, you do have the swivels here. You've got hinges in the knees. Again, probably about 45 degrees because of the design of the armor. And then you've got ball joints in the feet, which have a pretty nice range of motion. You know, not bad at all. So if you do that wider stance, you can kind of just push him down into place and he's going to hold just fine. There's nothing in terms of peg holes on the bottom of the feet, but they are designed very nicely, so pretty cool. So let's get in a little closer and we can talk about paint and sculpt on this guy, because he is a really nice looking figure. Now we're zoomed in a little bit. You can see that they actually did a lot with the paint on this figure. He's got that gunmetal gray, which looks so good. Sort of metallic pearlescent in there. It really adds a lot to kind of just the sheen of the figure. Makes it really look like a giant robot. The con pod up here looks awesome. They did a really nice blue color to kind of emulate the glow that might have come from it. Here's the parts up here I was talking about in the shoulders. See, as you rotate this part forward, you can see that whole part moves, which I always like big, like chunky things like that as opposed to just a slider. A slider would have been okay, but there's a chance it's going to get out of track and everything. This feels really nice and sturdy, and that moves all the way down that far. I mean, it's very cool, and that works on both sides. We've got USAF logos here. 34, I'm not sure of the significance of that, but I'm sure it has some. Everything's got a significance. I don't know, maybe that's when Godzilla was released. I'm not really sure. 1934. But very, very nice work. The sculpting is all really, really nicely done. Nice pistons here. Up inside, you can see gears and everything. You can see he's got a 3-finger hand instead of 5, or the big clubs that some of them have for fists, like Cherno Alpha. Just very, very nicely done. Very, very well done. I really did look at it. I showed it a second ago, but you can see a little closer up. His feet are really nice. On the back, we also have some really nice stuff. His spinal cord is kind of got some maybe gas releases, or I don't know, something really interesting going on here. It's very anime looking, but very cool. I like that he looks, because he's one of the earlier Jaegers, he looks like he's more of like parts put together. Like this almost kind of resembles like maybe how you would build a potato gun or something, or classic sci-fi stuff with big canisters and stuff. It doesn't look all sleek and cool. It looks like a robot built for war. So very, very neat. Nice vents and stuff on the back. I really do like the designs for the Pacific Rim stuff, and I think NECA has captured them beautifully with their toy line. So as I said, this figure cost about $17 or $18. He might be a little more or a little less in store, depending on where you get him. I got him from Big Bad Toy Store as part of the set, so my cost was kind of set in place. But for about maybe 20 bucks, this is still a really, really cool action figure. He doesn't come with any major accessories or anything, but he does have weapons. I like that they added the rotation and the cannons. You can see how those work. They did up the articulation a bit. Still some limitations there, of course, but he's a great addition to the to the Pacific Rim family. You can see he fits in really well with the other Jaegers here, and he also fits in well with Axehead or Trespasser here as well. Very large scale stuff. Definitely a pickup in my book. I really like the design of him. He's probably not for everybody, but I like that he looks a little more classic, a little more utilitarian, less fluff. He just looks really, really cool, like a bot that gets things done. I think he fits in actually quite well with Cherno Alpha in particular. They look like they're kind of from the same era, same family, so I dig that. So yeah, 18, 17, 20, stick in that range. I would probably go as high as 23. I'm not sure 25 is quite going to be a good price range, just because there are still some limits with the articulation, which I think if NECA was willing to compromise Sculpt just a bit, they could have worked around. But I know NECA is very, very big on Sculpt and not breaking it up as much as possible, so I understand their position. I'm just saying, as a toy fan, I would have preferred a little more articulation mobility. So that's it for this review. If you have any questions or comments, please throw them in the box below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. And thanks for all the subscribers and all the views, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.